Hey everybody, I just wanted to make a quick video before Sunday, as has been my usual routine as of late. I wanted to talk about The Rock and Cody Rhodes. There's been speculation that they're both in cahoots and that all of this alignment with the bloodline has just been a ruse the entire time. Now, I can't take any sort of credit, and I'd be lying if I said that I speculated the same thing, because I'll be honest with you, that thought did not even come to mind for me. But a lot of people, based on the segment, are believing that there were subtle hints that dropped during their segment. So, let's talk about it. So, the first thing I want to talk about is at the end of the show, people noticed that they were all pointing up in the air, doing, their bloodline taunt. But The Rock did a different motion. A lot of people explained this in their own headcanon as he's making the loser sign, referencing Cody being a loser. If I were to try to explain why he did a different motion, I would see this more as a gun, meaning his fingers were to symbolize a gun, as in he, at any moment, can pull the trigger and turn on Roman Reigns. That would be how I would kind of explain that, because it's a subtle hint. It's a subtle thing that's actually pretty noticeable. And I do think that if this is indeed a swerve, that's a hint that was definitely intentional, left by The Rock. Another thing is, there's the finger point to Roman Reigns. So what I am talking about here specifically is during The Rock's promo, he had said The Rock is going to make sure that you end up a loser. And while he said you end up a loser, he points to Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns is looking away. Now, there's two things that I think about this, right? And I've gone back and forth with which side I believe more. It's possible that this was a coincidence and it was just a shot that happened as a result of timing and the camera angle and so on. That's a possibility. Another thing is, obviously, if this is credible. And I think it is, for the reason that The Rock is good at blocking, right? If you don't know what that means, it's basically stage directions, of course. And The Rock is good at dropping hints, and I'm sure he's picked a lot of that up from filming movies and stuff. So, if you ever noticed the movie he produced, Red Notice, as an example, there were a lot of hints dropped in that movie. And, given that there's a lot of writing involved in this is also a thing that I could see The Rock doing and hinting at Roman Reigns. So, it could go either way, right? This could have been just a subtle coincidence, and who knows, maybe they'll even work that into the story, But I wouldn't be surprised, to find out that was intentional. Now, one thing I noticed, right? I didn't think much of it the first time I saw it, but I noticed it. But the second time I noticed it, and I noticed it with this rumor in mind, is that if you look at The Rock right next to Roman Reigns, and they're doing the point up in the air, the little taunt up in the air, there is a gap between him and the rest of the Bloodline members. Now, it's not like The Rock is all the way across the ring from the Bloodline, but there is a noticeable difference, for lack of a better word, noticeable distance, I mean. Man. There's a noticeable distance between The Rock and Roman Reigns, which is subtle. Just enough distance for it to be subtle, yet, of course, noticeable for the eye to catch. You know, maybe I'm reaching with that thought. Maybe I'm not. But I think that that's something to pay attention to, right? And if he keeps distancing himself from the Bloodline, or keeps his distance away from the Bloodline like that, you know, I think that there's definitely fuel to that fire then. And I feel like this was done as a way to symbolize that The Rock's not really a part of the Bloodline. So, going into the next thing, is this plausible? Yes it is. Because when doing this, there is an eventual setup. Because eventually, we will get Rock versus Roman Reigns. That's not a question of if rather than when. Right? And I don't think I'm wrong in saying that. I think it's very safe to say. So I think that that's plausible. So next, let's get into the prediction. What is this going to lead to? I think the bottom line at the end of all this is going to be The Rock giving the rock bottom to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Whether that is to help Cody Rhodes at the end of the match, or if it's going to happen after the match to set up The Rock versus Roman Reigns, that's yet to be determined. But I do think that we get The Rock hitting Roman Reigns with the rock bottom after at WrestleMania, whether it's before or after the match. It's going to happen. And we're going to set up that feud. So, I don't think The Rock's heel turn is long term, you know. And I don't have any other prediction beyond that. I would say let's just let it play out and see what happens next. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you'd like to support me, you may absolutely do so by shopping on my toy store on Mercari. The link will be in the description below. Thank you, everybody.